The hallway seemed endless. Yunji Park walked with slow, deliberate steps, her boots making sharp sounds against the polished metal floor of the Interstellar Defense Academy. Her shoulders were straight, but her eyes burned with a mixture of anger and disappointment. 3 years. 3 long years she had dedicated to this place. She had arrived as a bright-eyed cadet, full of hope and dreams of protecting humanity. Now she was leaving with nothing but bitter memories and crushed expectations. The meeting room door closed behind her. Inside, her latest proposal had been torn apart by senior commanders who seemed more interested in protecting their own careers than saving lives. Her strategic defense plan, a complex system that could predict and counter potential alien invasion routes, had been dismissed as too radical and unnecessarily complex. Unnecessary, she muttered to herself. The word tasted like poison in her mouth. The academy's main hall was busy. Young cadets in crisp blue uniforms moved quickly, their faces filled with excitement and purpose. They reminded Yunji of herself just 3 years ago. Back then, she believed in the system. She believed that merit and intelligence would always win. Now she knew better. Her datapad buzzed. Another message from her team lead, probably trying to convince her to stay. She didn't need to read it. Her mind was made up. The Interstellar Defense Academy could continue its slow, bureaucratic dance while potential threats gathered in the darkness of space. Yunji reached her personal quarters. The small room was neat, almost sterile. Her few personal belongings were packed into a single compact bag. Years of training, research, and hard work compressed into a simple storage unit. She remembered her first day at the academy. The excitement of being selected from thousands of applicants. The pride her parents had shown when she was accepted. They had sacrificed everything to support her education, believing she would make a difference. And now, she was walking away. The window of her quarters showed the massive training grounds outside. Massive starship simulators stood like silent giants. Training pods where cadets learned space combat techniques. Massive communication arrays that tracked potential threats across multiple star systems. All of it felt like a lie to her now. Her latest research had shown clear patterns in alien movement, subtle shifts in communication frequencies, unusual energy signatures at the edge of human-controlled space. But when she presented her findings, the senior commanders had laughed. They called her theories speculative and not supported by current intelligence. Yunji knew she was right. Her algorithms were precise. Her understanding of alien communication patterns was years ahead of current academy thinking. But no one would listen. As she picked up her bag, a holographic display activated. Her personal AI assistant, a simple program named KRA, spoke softly. "Are you certain about leaving, Cadet Park?" Kara's voice was neutral, almost concerned. Yunji paused. For a moment, doubt crept into her mind. Was she making a mistake? Could she make a difference from the outside? "Yes," she said firmly. "I'm certain." The door of her quarters slid open. The hallway beyond promised a world of uncertainty, but it was a world where she might actually have a chance to protect humanity, even if it meant doing it alone. Yunji Park walked forward, leaving behind the only home she had known for the past 3 years. She didn't look back. The small office was nothing like the grand halls of the Interstellar Defense Academy. Yunji's new workspace was cramped, with data screens covering almost every wall. Blinking lights and constant hums of computer systems replaced the strict military environment she had left behind. She worked as a freelance security consultant now. Most days, she analyzed data for small shipping companies or local space stations. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. More importantly, it gave her the freedom to continue her research. Today was different. A strange signal caught her attention. At first, it looked like normal background noise. But Yunji knew better. Her fingers moved quickly across the holographic keyboard, running complex analysis programs. "Keora," she called to her AI assistant, "filter these communication patterns. Something's not right." The AI's calm voice responded, Processing, Cadet Park. I'm not a cadet anymore, Yunji muttered. Old habits died hard. The signal was weird. It didn't match any known communication protocols. Not human. Not from any alien species they had encountered before. It was subtle, almost invisible if you weren't looking carefully. Outside her office window, the city bustled. Hover vehicles moved in neat lines. People walked quickly, going about their daily lives. None of them knew what might be gathering in the dark spaces between stars. A message popped up on her main screen. It was from Jae-sung Kim, her old academy contact. They had kept in touch even after her departure. He was one of the few who had ever taken her seriously. Yunji, the message read, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing?" Her heart raced. If Jae-sung was reaching out, something was definitely wrong. She pulled up the communication logs he had sent. Strange energy signatures, unusual movement patterns near the outer colonies, small changes that most would ignore. But Yunji saw the bigger picture. Something was coming. Kara's voice interrupted her thoughts. Analysis complete. The communication pattern shows characteristics of a potential reconnaissance mission. Probability of alien activity, 72.6%. Yunji leaned back in her chair. The numbers confirmed what her instincts had been telling her. But who would believe her? The academy had made it clear they weren't interested in her theories. Her desk was covered with old research papers, diagrams of potential alien communication methods, charts showing unusual energy signatures, everything she had tried to show her commanders before being dismissed. A notification blinked on her screen. An outer colony had reported strange sensor readings. Nothing concrete, just small, almost unnoticeable disturbances. But Yunji knew better. She opened a secure communication channel. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, sending encrypted messages to her old contacts. Most would ignore her, but maybe, just maybe, someone would listen. Outside, the first shadows of evening began to fall. The city's lights started to flicker on, creating a false sense of security. Yunji continued working. She didn't notice the darkness growing. Her focus was on the small signals that might save humanity. Something was coming, and she would be ready. The emergency alert blared across every communication channel. Red warning lights flashed on screens throughout the city. Colony Delta 9 is under attack, the automated voice repeated. Yunji's office went silent except for the sound of her rapidly typing fingers. Her screens filled with incoming data streams, sensor readings, communication logs, fragmented distress signals. This was exactly what she had predicted. Colony Delta 9 was a small settlement on the edge of human-controlled space. Just 5,000 colonists, mostly miners and their families. They were isolated, vulnerable. KRA, she called, analyzed the attack patterns. The AI worked quickly. Holographic displays filled with complex mathematical models and data visualizations. Each image told a piece of the story. The attack was precise. Too precise to be random. Whoever, or whatever, was attacking knew exactly where to strike. They targeted communication arrays first, then power stations, then defense systems. Classic invasion strategy. Yunji's old academy colleagues would call her crazy, but the data was clear. This wasn't a random attack. This was a carefully planned first strike. Her communication device buzzed. It was Jae-sung Kim. "Are you watching?" His message read. "Every second," she replied. Outside her window, people had started to panic. Hover vehicles moved in chaotic patterns. Emergency sirens continued their urgent cry. But inside her office, Yunji remained calm. She had been preparing for this moment. Her research showed unusual energy signatures weeks before the attack. Subtle changes in communication frequencies, tiny shifts in spatial movement patterns, things that most analysts would ignore. But she saw the bigger picture. The colony's distress signals were becoming weaker. Communication was breaking down. Yunji knew what that meant. The attackers were systematically destroying the colony's ability to call for help. KRA, she said, send an encrypted report to my old Academy contacts. Include all current data analysis. The AI hesitated. Previous communications from the Interstellar Defense Academy have been unresponsive. Send it anyway, Yanji commanded. Her fingers continued to move across the holographic keyboard. She was building a complete picture of the attack. Not just what was happening now, but what might happen next. On her main screen, colony survival rates dropped quickly. First 90%, then 70%, then 50%. Each percentage point represented lives, families, people. Jae-sung's next message came through. Command is mobilizing, but they're slow. Yunji knew what that meant. By the time traditional military responses were organized, the colony would be gone. She had a choice to make: stay in her safe office and continue analyzing, or do something more. Her hand hovered over a communication button, one that could connect her directly to emergency response teams, one that would force her old academy to listen. Outside, the city continued its panic dance. Emergency vehicles moved quickly. People ran in all directions. But Yanji remained still, calculating, thinking. The first breach had happened, and humanity's response would determine everything. The Academy's conference room was cold, not just in temperature, but in atmosphere. Yanji stood at the center, her data projections filling the massive wall screen. Senior commanders sat around a long table, their faces a mix of anger and grudging interest. Her prediction about Colony Delta 9's destruction had been painfully accurate. Jae-sung Kim sat to her right. He was the only one who had supported her from the beginning. A veteran tactical officer with years of space combat experience, he understood what others missed. These are not random attacks, Yunji explained, her voice steady. Holographic images showed complex attack patterns, alien movement tracks, communication signatures that seemed almost invisible to standard detection systems. The lead commander, a man named Park Sung-ho, leaned forward. His eyes were tired. The loss of Colony Delta 9 weighed heavily on everyone. Explain, he said simply. Yanji began her presentation. Each slide revealed another layer of the alien strategy. They weren't just attacking. They were studying, learning, preparing for something bigger. Her algorithms showed predicted next targets, potential invasion routes, weak points in human defense systems. The room went silent. How did you know? Sung-ho asked. I've been tracking these patterns for months, Yunji replied. Even before I left the academy. Jae-sung spoke up. Her research is solid. We can't ignore this anymore. The commanders looked uncomfortable. Being proven wrong was never easy, especially by someone they had dismissed just weeks earlier. We need a new strategy, Yunji continued. Traditional defense methods won't work against this kind of enemy. Her plan was radical. Use the aliens' communication patterns against them. Create adaptive defense systems that could learn and change in real time. Something completely different from current military thinking. Sung-ho studied her carefully. You were right about Colony Delta 9, he admitted. What do you need? It was more than an invitation. It was a lifeline. Yanji looked at Jae-sung. They had discussed this moment, planned for it. But now that it was here, everything felt different. Full access to our research resources, she said. A small team. Complete freedom to develop our defense strategy. The negotiations began. Hours of discussions, technical details, strategic planning. Outside the conference room, the world continued. But inside, a new approach to defending humanity was being born. Kara, her AI assistant, sent additional data to the room's system. More evidence, more proof of the coming threat. Jae-sung watched Yanji work. She was different now. No longer the frustrated cadet who had walked away. Now she was something else. A key to humanity's survival. As the sun set outside, casting long shadows across the academy's halls, a plan took shape. A plan that would change everything. Humanity was about to fight back, and Yanji Park would lead the way. The training room was unlike anything Yanji had seen before. Special screens covered the walls. Holographic projections showed complex alien communication patterns. A small team of selected cadets and officers watched her carefully. "This is not a typical defense strategy," she explained. Her team was small but special. Each member had been chosen for a unique skill. Some were communication experts, others were AI specialists, a few were combat veterans, but they all shared one thing. They believed in Yanji's approach. Kara, her AI assistant, began displaying intricate data models, strange signals, unusual energy patterns, things that looked like random noise to most people. "The aliens communicate differently," Yanji said. "They don't use sound or language like we do. Their communication is more like a complex mathematical dance." Jae-sung stood at the back of the room. He watched her with a mix of pride and curiosity. She had changed since leaving the academy. More confident, more focused. The team worked day and night. They built new systems, adaptive AI that could learn and change faster than any previous defense technology. Computers that could predict alien movement patterns before they happened. "We're not just building a defense," Yanji told her team. "We're creating a new way of understanding alien communication." Their first breakthrough came on a quiet Tuesday morning. A new algorithm that could translate the aliens' communication patterns, not just understand them, but predict their next move. Jae-sung brought in special training equipment, virtual reality simulators that could recreate alien attack scenarios. The team practiced, learned, adapted. Each cadet wore a special communication device. Connected to KRI's advanced systems, they could share information faster than any previous military technology. "This is about survival," Yanji reminded them. "Not just for us, but for all of humanity." The Academy's leadership watched carefully. They had given Yanji's team a chance, but they were watching every move. Her team was unique. Young minds, open to new ideas, not stuck in old ways of thinking. They saw the alien threat as a puzzle to solve, not just an enemy to fight. Special training rooms became their home. Holographic displays showed possible invasion routes. Complex mathematical models predicted alien movements. The team worked like a single organism, each person knowing their exact role. KRA continued to process information, learning, changing, growing smarter with each passing hour. "We're creating something new," Yanji told Jae-sung during a late-night strategy session. "A defense system that thinks like the aliens, but acts like humans." Outside, the world continued. Most people had no idea of the work happening inside the academy. The preparation, the strategy, the hope. Yanji looked at her team. Young faces, determined eyes. They were humanity's best chance. The aliens might be advanced, but humans had something special. The ability to adapt, to learn, to change. And Yanji was going to prove that. Alarms screamed across every human space station. The alien fleet appeared suddenly, like a dark wave of metal and energy. Hundreds of ships, each one strange and unlike anything humans had seen before. Yanji stood in the main command center. Her team surrounded her. Screens filled with incoming data. KRI processed information faster than any computer system in human history. "This is what we prepared for," she said quietly. Traditional defense systems failed immediately. Laser cannons missed their targets. Shield generators collapsed. Entire space stations went dark within minutes. But Yanji's team was different. Their adaptive AI system worked in ways no one expected. It didn't just defend. It learned, changed, predicted. "Target their communication nodes," Yanji commanded. Her fingers moved across holographic screens. Complex mathematical patterns appeared, each pattern a weapon, each calculation a shield. Jae-sung watched in amazement. The alien ships moved like a single organism, perfect coordination. advanced technology. They should have been unstoppable. But they weren't prepared for human creativity. KRA began sending signals, not attacks. Something more complex, like a language the aliens couldn't understand. Every signal was a puzzle, every transmission a trap. The first alien ships started to malfunction. Their perfect coordination broke down. Small errors appeared, then bigger ones. "We're not fighting," Yunji explained to her team. "We're solving a problem." Her strategy was simple but brilliant. Instead of trying to destroy the alien ships, they were disrupting their communication, breaking their ability to work together. Alien ships began to crash into each other. Their perfect formation collapsed. Hundreds of vessels became confused, lost. Jae-sung couldn't believe what he was seeing. "How is this possible?" he asked. "They think like a machine," Yunji replied. "We think like humans." The command center filled with a strange quiet. Everyone watched the screens. Alien ships spinning, crashing, falling apart. This wasn't just a battle. It was a demonstration of human potential. KRA continued to process, learn, adapt. The AI was creating solutions faster than the aliens could respond. One by one, alien ships disappeared, some destroyed, some simply lost. Their advanced technology became useless against human creativity. Yunji looked calm. This was what she had prepared for. Not just a fight, a solution. Hours passed. The battle continued. But the tide had turned. Humanity wasn't just surviving. They were winning. On the screens, the last alien ships began to retreat. Their perfect invasion plan had fallen apart. Jae-sung put his hand on Yunji's shoulder. "You did it," he said. Yunji just smiled. "We did it," she corrected. Outside the command center, celebration sounds began. But inside, Yunji and her team knew the truth. This was just the beginning. The real challenge was still to come. 2 weeks after the first major battle, everything had changed. Yunji's team worked in a new research center. Massive windows looked out over a rebuilt space station. The walls were covered with captured alien technology, strange devices, complex communication systems. "We're not just studying them," Yunji told a group of new researchers. "We're learning how they think." Every piece of alien technology became a lesson, a puzzle to solve. The military had given her team complete freedom to explore, to understand. Kara, her AI assistant, processed information from thousands of captured alien data nodes. Each piece of information revealed something new about the alien civilization. Jae-sung brought in the latest reports from recovered colonies. The strategy was working. Humans were not just defending. They were adapting. "Their technology is different," Yunji explained. "Not better, just different." The research center became a hub of innovation. Young scientists worked alongside military experts. Everyone wanted to understand the alien threat. They discovered something amazing. The aliens weren't a single species. They were more like a complex network, each ship part of a larger communication system, like a giant, living computer. But humans had something the aliens didn't understand: creativity, unpredictability. New defense systems began to appear, adaptive shields that could change faster than alien weapons, communication interceptors that could break down alien signals in seconds. "We're rewriting the rules of space warfare," Jae-sung told the Academy leadership. Yunji's team developed training programs, virtual reality simulations that could help soldiers understand alien tactics, not just how to fight, but how to think. Each day brought a new breakthrough, a new understanding. The captured alien technology revealed complex communication systems, networks that worked like living brains, but humans could now understand them, even improve them. "This isn't about winning a war," Yunji told her team. "This is about understanding." Colonies that were once under threat began to rebuild. The fear was gone, replaced by something else: hope. KRA continued to learn, process, grow. The AI was becoming something more than just a computer system, a bridge between human creativity and alien technology. Military leaders from around the world came to see the research center. They wanted to understand how a small team had changed everything. Yanji remembered the day she walked away from the academy. How different things were now. We're not just defending, she would tell new recruits. We're evolving. The alien threat had become opportunity, a chance to grow, to learn, to become something more. Outside the research center, new spaceships were being built, ships that combined human creativity with lessons learned from alien technology. Jae-sung watched Yanji work. She was different now, no longer just a frustrated cadet. She had become something more, a bridge between what was and what could be. The tide had turned, and humanity was just getting started. The final battle would decide everything. Yanji stood on the bridge of the flagship. Around her, the best of humanity's new fleet waited, ships that combined human creativity with captured alien technology. Each vessel was different. Each crew was ready. Kara's holographic display showed the alien command structure, a massive network of ships, complex, interconnected. What looked like a weakness could be their greatest strength. We're not going to destroy them, Yanji told Jae-sung. We're going to break their communication. The plan was crazy, dangerous, brilliant. They would send a signal, not an attack. Something more complex, a communication virus that could spread through the alien network faster than any weapon. One wrong move, Jae-sung warned, and we lose everything. Yanji smiled. This was the moment she had prepared for her entire career. The alien fleet appeared. Massive, powerful. They filled the space around them like a dark storm. Hundreds of ships, each one more advanced than anything humans had seen before. But humans had something special. Creativity, adaptability, the ability to think beyond their own programming. KRA began the attack. Not with weapons, with information. Complex mathematical signals spread through the alien network, each signal a puzzle, each transmission a trap. The first alien ships began to change. Their perfect coordination broke down. Communication lines became confused. Ships started to move in random patterns. Now, Yanji commanded. Humanity's fleet moved, not like a military formation, more like a living organism, each ship working with the others, adapting, changing. Alien ships began to crash into each other. Their perfect network became a weakness. What was once their greatest strength now destroyed them. KRA processed information faster than any computer in history, learning, changing, solving problems in milliseconds. Yanji watched the battle unfold. This wasn't just about fighting. It was about understanding. Hours passed. The battle continued, but the result was clear. Humanity was winning. Not through pure force, but through intelligence, creativity, the ability to solve problems in ways the aliens could never understand. The alien command ship appeared. Massive, powerful, the heart of their entire network. One final signal, Yanji said. KRA sent a transmission, a complex mathematical sequence that would break down the aliens' entire communication system. The command ship went dark. Silence filled the space around them. Jae-sung looked at Yanji. We did it, he said. But Yanji knew the truth. This was just the beginning. The aliens had taught humanity something important: how to evolve, how to adapt, how to become something more. Outside the ship's windows, the last alien vessels disappeared, defeated not by weapons, but by human creativity. Humanity had changed forever, and Yanji Park had led the way. 5 years had passed since the alien invasion. The Interstellar Defense Academy looked different now. Yanji walked through halls that were once familiar, now completely transformed. Young cadets looked at her with respect, not just as a hero, but as someone who had changed everything. Kara, her AI assistant, projected holographic memories onto the walls, scenes from the Great Battle, the moment humanity had proven its worth. The academy is no longer just about defense, Yunji told a group of new students. It's about understanding, growing, evolving. Jae-sung stood at the back of the room. He watched her with pride. The frustrated cadet who had once walked away had become something more. The world had changed. Colonies that were once threatened now thrived. New technologies developed from captured alien systems had transformed human society. Space travel, communication, energy production, everything was different. Yunji's research center had become the most important institution in human space exploration. Young scientists from around the world came to learn, to understand. We didn't just fight the aliens, she explained to her students. We learned from them. The captured alien technology revealed amazing secrets, new ways of thinking, complex communication systems that humans were now beginning to understand. Outside, new spaceships moved through the stars, ships that looked nothing like the military vessels of the past, each one a testament to human creativity. The Academy's training programs had completely changed, no longer just about fighting, about understanding, adapting, growing. KRA projected images of the alien civilization, not as enemies, but as a puzzle to be solved, a complex system of communication and technology. Our greatest strength, Yunji told her students, is our ability to learn. Recovered alien databases showed something unexpected. The aliens had been studying humans for centuries, watching, waiting. But they never understood the most important thing: human creativity, the ability to solve problems in ways no one expected. Jae-sung approached Yunji after her lecture. Thinking about the future, he asked. She smiled. Always. New exploration missions were being planned, not just to defend, but to understand, to explore, to grow. The academy had become more than a military training center. It was a place of discovery, of hope. Yunji looked at the young faces around her, each one representing humanity's potential, its ability to change, to adapt. She remembered the day she walked away, how different things were now. We're not just defenders, she would tell her students. We're explorers, discoverers, creators. KRI continued to learn, to grow. The AI had become more than just a computer system, a bridge between human creativity and unlimited potential. Outside, new colonies were being built. New ships were being designed. The future looked bright. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and become something more. Yunji Park had led the way. But the journey was just beginning.